Licorice Pizza was only on 4 screens in New York and LA this weekend. It's going wide on Christmas, so a traditional platform release for an indie film, and did really big business thus far, which is nice to see because, as we know, the adult drama box office has been slow to return. Look at Belfast and Spencer and a few others at this point. It hasn't been too great, but PTA, in a sense, is his own IP, like a Tarantino, right? He has his fans. And at AMC Lincoln Square in New York, I mean, there might have been like 5 empty seats. It was completely packed. And also a really fun experience because that was in a 70 millimeter. All these showings right now are being shown on film. And that's really cool. But yeah, I mean, got to see the ninth Paul Thomas Anderson film, first one since Phantom Thread. It's been a few years. And also really fun and exciting because this film, previously titled Soggy Bottom, this film was kind of made in secret. We didn't really know too much about it until he had basically finished making it. And then, sure enough, here it is coming out with some awards aspirations. But regardless of how that goes, it's been pretty well received. And I have to agree, I did like the movie quite a bit. I thought it was really, really strong. And there's not a whole lot to spoil about this film. It's not that kind of movie, but I'll still try and keep it spoiler free here. But it's really just a classic coming of age story with some familiar PTA trappings, set in LA, set in the Valley, Encino specifically. The Valley, of course, famous or familiar to PTA fans as the setting for Boogie Nights as well. Uh, and in this film, set in the early 70s, right around the uh, OPEC oil crisis timing. This kind of have this two-hander going on. Cooper Hoffman, the son of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, plays Gary Valentine, and he comes across, and he's like a 15-year-old kid in school, and he comes across Alana Kane, played by Alana Haim of the rock band Haim, and these are both of their first film roles. Of course, PTA has a relationship with Cooper Hoffman from his dad, and he also has a relationship with the band Haim because he shot some of their music videos. And something I didn't really know about this movie going in is that the rest of Haim is also in Licorice Pizza. Esty and Danielle, the older sisters, are in the movie as Alana's sisters in the film, and their parents are played by the Haim sisters' real parents. So
Wow.
it's a complete family affair. Really cool to see. But I think everyone does a great job. In particular, Alana Haim is really great in this. It's her first film role. Not that
Hmm.
she's new to being on camera, of course. She's been in a band for 10 years, but she was really good actor, honestly, man. And the movie, honestly, is more about her than it is about Gary. Um, but a lot's been made about this so far because Alana's character, Alana, is in her mid 20s and Gary is like 15. So there's not quite a romance going on here, but it's a bit of an attraction. They kind of grow and have their ups and downs together in this coming of age, right? Gary kind of older than he actually is, and Alana perhaps longing for her younger days. It's complicated and a bit transgressive, obviously, right? It's not, I wouldn't say it's like a relationship that's like overtly grooming, but it's not too far away from that either, I suppose. Um, and I think the movie's aware of that. Lana has a line where she's like, "Is it weird that I hang out with Gary and his 15-year-old friends all the time?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's weird." Like the movie knows that this is a kind of an out there thing, but I really think the beats, the coming of age, the hijinks, everything about it is just really strong, and I really like the characters, especially Alana. Um, Along the way, you have kind of these detours and side stories as they're kind of going up and down through their journey together, and more famous faces pop up like Benny Safdie and Sean Penn and Tom Waits and Maya Rudolph.
Bradley
All I
Cooper
think
as a scene in the trailers, which I'm very excited
yes,
to see.
and Bradley Cooper, who was excellent cast. I don't really talk about any of those supporting roles, but they're all strong. They're all well done. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's honestly a really awesome movie. There's one thing I really disliked about it though was there's this moment where this supporting character, this restaurant owner played by John Michael Higgins, this kind of like speaks like an Asian caricature in
Mhm.
regards to his Japanese wife, and it's like one of those things where it's like the movie's playing this guy off as a buffoon, as a fool, as unlikable. At the same point, like I don't know if like just doing an overtly racist joke twice at that, I don't know if that like really adds anything to the film. And I've seen a lot of that
Yeah.
sentiment shared as well. So that part was definitely a miss for me. But still, I think overall the movie's really compelling. You know, in part because of it's a bit unusual to see this relationship and twist on some familiar stuff that we associate with coming of age stories. So you know, the score is awesome. Johnny Greenwood's having a great year. He also did the Spencer score. A lot of big song drops in this, familiar for PTA fans. But yeah, man, Licorice Pizza, obviously a must see. But I think it's
Yeah.
earned its reputation. It's a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, PTA just everything he puts out is pretty much can't miss at this point. The vibe I kind of got from the trailers, especially like because I mentioned that Bradley Cooper scene, and it kind of felt a little bit like the scene with Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was wondering if this was kind of like a similar type movie where there's like an overall plot, but it sounds like there's just like a lot of like side stuff that's like interesting and fun to hang with.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You'll definitely get Once Upon a Time in Hollywood vibes from this. Definitely.
Nice.